Okay, the last thing I want to touch on. Monetizing hip hop and art. What do you think? What do you feel about it?
To some people, it's an investment. Right? You're paying. That's a kind of a broad question to ask. Like, what do you
feel about monetizing your art and your work when it comes to hip hop?
Like paying to get paid for it?
No, like making money off your art, like you putting it out there and making money off it. You charging for shows, or let's say you charging for beats, or you charging for mixing and mastering. What do you think about that?
I think it's very justifiable, especially if you want to make a living off of your passion. However, I don't feel like that, like certain things need to be like have a fee attached to it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm good. I got my own shit. But like sampling is one of those weird things where I'm like, why the hell should I have to pay for this? You know what I mean? Like I'm taking a sound and remixing it and putting on some effects and like chopping it up in a certain way where sometimes it doesn't even sound the same anymore. But I can see why people do charge for samples, or they gotta get royalty clearance, because there are some artists who don't change a whole lot, especially with like disco samples.
Disco samples are huge. People just put like do 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 do.
That's it. But
so it depends on how the sample's used, kind of thing, right?
It depends on how the sample's used, but how do you define how do you
define
the gray area, cover all your bases and stuff like that, right? So that's where it kind of pisses me off, because I'll take a sample and you probably won't even know where I got it. But
and that's dope. That's like real dope. When you don't know where the sample came from, kind of thing. Yeah, that's intricate.
Yeah.
That's intricate.
That's what I think is really important. Oh shit.
For example, my thing is like when it comes to monetizing your work and services in hip hop, I feel like it definitely depends on the price, and it depends on what you're charging for. But I feel like if you're on a come up and you're just trying to like, you do like honest service, I feel like it's anything with business. You do honest service, you do a good job of it, and like you fucking charge a reasonable price, then I feel like people should pay. It's like with anything, as far as like paying for anything. It's like if it's quality and like you really, like did quality service, then fucking let's pay for it. Now, the other thing I'm always like, because KRS says in one of his songs, like, and I said this in the drive-by with Twizzy Ramos, he says, make your money outside of hip-hop. Hip-hop, you won't abuse it.
Yeah.
So it's like, make your money outside of hip-hop so you don't abuse hip-hop. And Killer Mike says that he makes his money outside of hip-hop because then when he's making music, he doesn't have to stress about the royalties and the publishing. He just creates.
Yeah.
So I feel that like when you have some sort of financial backing outside of hip hop, then it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about penny, nickel and diming my work, kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But at the same time, I feel like once you get to a certain point, I feel like my goal at least is to make money off of what I'm doing.
Yeah, whatever it is you're doing.
And I feel like that's gonna come with time, but it's definitely, you have to start charging at some point.
Yeah.
Now, if you start charging, like, let's say let's say, for example, I'm shooting some video footage, right?
Yeah.
Photographer, videography work. Yeah. And I'm charging like 150 or something like that. Or like $50 an hour or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you do like, you perform for an hour, I film this shit, I put it together, I chop it up, make it look nice, and I put it out there for like, $30 or something like that, then it's like, I feel like that's reasonable,
Yeah. Well, for your skill set too, it really, you get what you pay for. Especially if you are considered like an amateur. I think there comes amateur pricing with that. Like if I was to start uploading and charging for like lyrics today, you know what I mean? Like ghostwriting services. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was just to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm an amateur artist. Like I can't just tell you like, oh, I'm a ghostwriter. You should pay me to ghostwrite your shit, and I'm a professional ghostwriter. Right. So it's different. There's levels to it.
There's levels to this shit.
Right. Like you
Meek
gotta.
Mill, shout outs.
Yeah. You kind of have to level up. You have to start from somewhere. For me, some people approach me like as beat makers and stuff, and I ask them like, like how much do you charge? they'll be like, oh, like da 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 for the exclusive, or like 150 for the exclusive. I'm not gonna say his name, but I have somebody who came up to me and he was like, yeah, man, $400, and it's all yours. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, like, I know you're an eclectic and you're like making money off of this stuff, but like, damn, like
That's a little steep.
Yeah, it's a little steep, especially for me. Like,
and I feel that, but my thing is just like I never take that shit personal.
No.
And I feel like people take that shit personal.
No,
people
it's
feel
business.
Exactly, and that's where I think this is what I want to impart on the listener. If you're listening out there and you're like, you get offended because somebody's charging, you just don't pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Keep
don't
on
pay
walking.
for it. You go and find the person who's charging less or cheaper.
Yeah.
And if you get shittier service, then you pay for that.
Exactly.
But if you get better service and you find it for a better price,
Yeah.
then it's like bingo, you got it.
Yeah.
Think about it. If somebody's offering, I think it's just like basic. If somebody's offering one cheeseburger and they're charging $100, and then somebody else is charging it for $50, and they're both the same cheeseburger, what are you gonna go to?
The $50 cheeseburger.
So that's what I'm saying. Nobody's Fat Burger's not like with a gun, like telling you gotta buy this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, oh, okay, I see the price and I'm good. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah. The thing about like some hip hop elements is like the rights. You got to work out the publishing rights.
And if somebody's using that
contracts.
shit and they're making money off it and they're not paying you, kind of thing, or they're not like running it by you or getting permission from you, then it's kind of snaky.
It is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is, and it happens quite frequently too. Like, you'd be surprised, and not just in like hip hop, but that happens in like performance art. You know what I mean? Like things like dance, or even trying to think. Maybe I this is just an idea. Maybe I could see something like a snaky thing happening. Like, say if you put up a painting and you auction it off, and then you have a certain contract with the auction, and if it was ever to be hung up in a museum, you'd have to like collect royalties from like an admission from the admission fees, and then they start ducking you, something like that. Then that's something you that could happen. Say if you wanted to like start up your own museum, because there's people that start up museums in their houses and like their own like lease space, especially in like New York and stuff. They collect certain things around the world and try and start up a museum. But if you buy something under contract and you negate that contract because you think you're going to save a couple bucks, and that's just ridiculous. And it happens every day. People are getting screwed out of their money every day, and it's for like nickels and dimes, right? Sometimes when they're nickel and diming like one person, they're not just nickel and diming you, they're nickel and diming like 3 other people, and that adds up to like, however much money you probably want for the week. So it gets sticky and annoying.
Word.
Right?
And I feel like a part of it is the education.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah, no.
Because I know I've been in situations where I'm like, yo, let's all eat. Let's all make money off this shit.
Yeah.
You probably been in situations with me where I'm just like, yo, everyone's going to get paid off this shit.
Yeah.
And then I do a little bit of research and I'm like, oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
I can't really pay everybody the way I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if I do, then I got to go through all these different steps.
The thing is, though, at least you're honest. Right? Some people will just flat out lie.
No,
you know what I mean?
But that's something I got to work on.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to walk away with today.
Being prepared.
Please do not overpromise anything when it comes to money or paying people. Just find out, do your research, do your best, and try and work something out that's reasonable so both parties benefit.
Yes.
That's literally just the base. Like, that's how I try to function at the end of the day.
Word.
And if I can work that out, then it's like, let's do that. You know what I mean?
Word.
But at the same time, I'm still like by any means. A little bit. I'm a little bit by any means, but not completely.
Gotta get the bread!
I'm a little bit by any means, but not completely.
Word.
There's always some sort of principle when it comes to it. Absolutely. When it comes to me, there's always some principle when it comes to it.
Word.
There's always some principle when it comes to it.
I can respect that.